What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Goat Shed Sports Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Nick Connect, and alongside me is the colossal Jacob Bowles. Jacob, how you doing today?
I am fantastic. How are you doing today, Nick?
Oh, I'm doing just great.
So today we talk about a very interesting topic here. It's the kind of figuring out how the possible return of the NBA is going to go about.
Mm-hmm.
And before we kind of got into that, I just wanted to kind of just help you recap a couple of things that happened recently. So in the soccer world, if many people care about that, the Premier League and La Liga, so England League and Spanish League, have set their return dates. La Liga set for June 11th and the Premier League set for June 17th. So two major competitions and leagues that are opening up relatively soon, less than a month's time.
Less than a month away.
So that's just, I thought that was kind of a huge step in the progression of things.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And then the other one is the NHL. So hockey is hopefully returning to practice early June. I think you said that's what they've been kind of discussing.
Yeah.
They kind of created their own new playoff format. So
it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a huge pool of teams. It's 24-team playoff format. So I don't know the specifics on how that works, but
it's going to be interesting.
That's going to be kind of fun to see. I mean, if you're a fan of hockey, then there's more hockey coming your way and a larger playoff. So maybe some teams can get in there.
The Jackets. You know, our hometown. We're from Columbus. Our hometown team. They weren't in the playoffs. Now they are.
Yeah, I'm a Penguins fan, and
you're right. You are a Penguins fan.
They were going to be in the playoffs no matter what, but still.
Yucky. Penguins.
So man. Yeah, that's pretty much, I guess I'd say the biggest news around.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than the NBA, I mean, NFL still hasn't really made any announcements of how that's going to go down. I don't know, baseball really.
Baseball, oh my! I don't know if you've been paying attention. Baseball has been excuse my language, a shit show, man. Oh, I don't even want to get into it at this moment. I need to research more, but stuff I've seen on social media, how how their owners and the commissioner of that league is handling everything, it's been bad.
Has it been bad?
It hasn't been good. It's been making a lot of people mad.
That's very upsetting because I mean I follow baseball. I mean I
love baseball.
I love the sport. It's just,
man.
I mean, I hope they work it out.
Ain't nothing like going to a baseball game. Went to when we went earlier this year to that Red Sox game at Fenway Park. Crazy, bro. Like 10 rows up on the first base line. It was nuts. And my favorite thing about the Boston Stadium is I don't think there is any other stadium in the world where your vendors are walking around going, "Clam chowder, get your clam chowder here, clam chowder." I did, dude. I got a bowl of clam chowder. I was like, I'm in Boston. I got to get the clam chowder.
How was the clam chowder?
Oh, it was pretty good. It was raining and it was really cold. It was like 40 degrees and raining, and that hot clam chowder. Ooh.
I just could not imagine eating clam chowder
at a baseball game.
Baseball game, yes.
Yeah, it caught me off guard too, but it was hot, and I was like, dude, whatever.
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna be there, that's the place to do it. It's like if you're in Philly, you gotta get a Philly cheesesteak while you're there.
Exactly, man. I could getting off topic here, but I could go for a Philly cheese right now.
All right, food episode of the sports podcast.
Welcome back to our new segment, Food Fears. Man, but
okay. Oh yeah,
back online here. NBA.
Yep. So, the NBA kind of has some rumors swirling around. We don't know anything for certain yet. Mm-hmm. We don't even know if the season is officially returning or not yet, but we've heard a lot of speculation about how it could come back, and so we kind of just wanted to recap, talk about what we've been hearing and kind of probably what you guys have been hearing too about how it's going to return, if it does.
Yeah, so basically, it's been rumored that on the 31st of July is the target return date. Like, that is when they want to be playing basketball, wherever that is, if that's in Vegas, Disney, however they do it. It will 100% be in different cities. They're calling them campuses more than a season in a bubble. I don't know. They're trying to like gear towards calling it a season on a campus, so it just sounds better. Because I don't know what two cities are picked for the NHL, but the NHL will be two hub cities for the campuses. So I would assume it's probably going to be like a Vegas and somewhere in Florida deal, just
Big
because.
markets.
Yeah, just because Florida's mayor has already invited any pro team, so I think Florida will have a lot. Yeah, I think basketball is definitely, if it does come back, it's going to be in Disney and the ESPN area, wherever that place in Disney, Universal Studios, wherever it is. I don't know exactly where it is, but the big ESPN area, they got courts. Disneyland's the biggest private city on the planet, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
it's like
Florida
they could harbor 16 basketball teams just fine.
I mean, yeah, they get thousands of people
Mhm.
daily. I'm pretty sure they can handle a NBA league there.
Yes.
Which I think it's very cool to see how Disney World's gonna be a host for a professional sports league. Like that's just cool to me.
Oh yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
awesome.
I never thought I'd see something like this, but
Respect on Mickey Mouse.
hey, I'll give them a lot of respect if they're able to keep the season back. That's all I really.
Yeah, and then
I mean, I definitely want like for the player safety, like if there's things that could go wrong, to definitely play careful and not
oh yeah, of course.
risk anything. But I mean, this seems kind of like the best option at this point.
Yeah,
To
for sure.
do something about it, and probably the most realistic at this point.
I know. What was it like 2 podcasts ago? We were talking about we were skepticizing like about the return of basketball. I think that's what the whole podcast was about. And I was like, I'm optimistic. I think basketball's coming back, and every day, dude. I feel like it's coming back.
It's been over 2 months at this point. I want to say.
Oh wait, I got you. Let me just go to Bam Adebayo's Twitter. He's
It's been like I want to say 70 something days.
I got you. Bam every day tweets a sad gift and says part whatever. So, 76 days since basketball is canceled.
Yep. So over 2 months, just
I'm ready
been
for
the
it to be
longest
back.
2 months.
So, with basketball coming back, though, there's a lot of stipulations on how they're going to handle the season. Because are they going to do like what NHL did and add some more teams, make it a bigger playoffs, so they can get the real moneymaker Zion in? Or are they going to? There's been a lot of talks, and this has been talks to like the last like couple years of doing a 16 team no conference playoffs. And I want them to do that next season, and I like that better than the 2 conference system now, because the West is so much better. If the schedules were balanced, then because right now, as if the Trailblazers and the Pelicans, the ones in the bubble in the West, wouldn't even make the playoffs in the East. But I feel like if the Trailblazers or the Pelicans had the Magic or the Nets schedule, those bottom teams in the East, they would
make it.
They would make it.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want them to do it this year, because it just seems gimmicky. Because one, the big problem with that setup of the just 16 teams is the travel, because you could have the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers playing in the first round, and you got to try to figure out how to get planes and everything set up from LA to Brooklyn in like a week time span. And that's why if they do it now, that doesn't prove that this will work with the traveling in the playoffs, because everyone's going to be in one place.
Yeah, so like I mean, yeah, obviously traveling will not be a factor if they do the campus thing, keep them in the bubble, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, like you said, under a normal circumstance, like under a regular season, I really like this idea. I like the idea of everybody having similar schedules. You play teams from both sides.
Oh yeah, if they could pull this off and make it the 1 through 16 with balanced schedules, it would be. You would truly see the best teams in the playoffs every year. Like, I know a bunch of the Eastern Conference teams and their owners are probably going to fight this, because more playoffs means more games, means more ticket sales, more time on screen. But it's like, as a basketball fan, wouldn't you rather see Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, Zion, and the rest of that young Pelicans team over Vucevic and the Magic and a KD, Kyrie-less Nets?
Yeah, like I definitely think, yeah, like you said, entertainment stand wise, it's gonna be better to see. Plus, it's definitely just the fairest way to do it. I mean, you have these East teams, like you said, the Magic and the Nets, who are making it in barely, that's because they're in a better or in a weaker East side.
Because
So
because of the games they're
they're
playing. Like
they're
I mean,
they're playing lesser competition, and a lot of those West teams that are just barely missing out. I mean, you have 9 through 13 within 3 games of each other.
hmm
Any of those guys, if they're in the other conference, could have
I mean,
easily made the
you just
playoffs.
gotta think about it. If you look at the worst teams in the East, think about how nice it would be to play the Hawks, the Hornets, and the Bulls multiple times a
Cavs,
year. The
yeah.
Cavs, and then you look at the worst teams in the West, and it's the
The
Suns,
worst team right
the
now is
Suns, the Timberwolves, and the
Timberwolves. It might be bad.
Suns, the Timberwolves, and the Kings. Like, God, the Kings would
The Spurs are worse than the Kings right now.
yeah, exactly. It's like they were these like imagine if those schedules were balanced. Imagine if like a team like Portland, who, has had a bunch of injuries with Dame, and that's why, and they've just struggled chemistry wise. But imagine if they got more games against the Bulls and the Hornets and the Hawks, and not more games against the Kings and the Spurs. Like, this is going to be the first time since 1999 that the Spurs won't be in the playoffs unless they do some crazy like 24 team playoff deal. So it's just like, I guess if you want to talk about that, like, I mean, with NHL doing that, there's been a lot of speculation of like playing tournaments and figuring it all out for the teams that are on the bubble. My personal opinion is, I know they didn't get to finish the season out, but they still had 66 games to play. It's not like they, if you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. I think it's tough luck at this point. You gotta Adam Silver's going to bite the bullet and make hard decisions. But I think you don't need to extend this and make this season a bigger asterisk and make it more gimmicky than it already is, just to police some people. They had 66 games to get in the playoffs. If they couldn't do it, they couldn't do it. Like, that's unfair to teams like the Grizzlies, who has hustled the whole year. And it's like, oh, you hustled so long to keep this, to hang on to this eighth seed and fought for it. And it's like, yeah, but all those people you fought for it, we're going to push them to the playoffs too.
We're just gonna give them a spot anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like if you're Ja Morant, you drug that young team, like no one thought you're gonna do it. You get that A spot. It's like, yeah, those guys that you had to beat, we're putting them in with you. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen rumors swirling around that the only reason they really want to expand it is to get
Zion.
the Zion Williamson in. But I mean, which I definitely think is a big motivation for them if they do.
It's so much money
Another
right
part
there.
of it is it's so much harder to kind of figure out how to do that than it is just
To say, hey,
sorry.
we're gonna do it the way we've done it for the last, like, ever since
like you
since
said,
the ABA came into the NBA.
you played majority of the season right now. You kind of know which teams definitely deserve to make it, have fought this whole season, have been through struggle in playoffs. It does suck for the teams right on the edge. I mean, the East is pretty much figured out.
Yeah,
If
the East
Washington
is
able to
figured
come
out.
back, that's that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I think the best course is to just do 16 teams. You go straight to the playoffs. 8 of each conference. I mean, same thing that's been going forever, but I think it's the most fair way to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said, just so we can get some clarity. The Wizards are the next closest. They're the 9th seed right now, and they're 6 games behind the Magic. So it's like, with the last like remaining like 20 games I had in the season, you really think the Wizards were gonna be able to get 6 game, like be able to win, have the Magic somehow lose over half and they win almost the majority of their games?
Yeah,
Not gonna happen. The only thing that could change in the playoff stuff for like the East is seeding from everyone but the Raptors and the Bucks, because the Bucks are sitting at 53, the Raptors are at 46, then you have the Celtics at 43, the Heat at 41, the Pacers at 39, the Sixers at 39, and then the Nets and the Magic at 30.
Yeah, I mean, seeding is definitely a huge advantage in home court. I mean, that's everybody knows that, but I get in the West right now you have 3 teams at 40 wins. So I mean, it sucks those teams couldn't have fought for a higher position, but you still have to do your thing in the playoffs. You still have to go out there. You have to be able to play away. You're going to play away at some point. Like, it just matters if you do it first or more.
Exactly.
So, yeah, if they somehow figured out a way to throw in 20-ish teams, say they do the 24th thing, like the
like NHL. Man,
I just think it's gonna be
I
too weird.
just don't want this to be so gimmicky because, like I said, this season's are gonna have such a big asterisk. It's gonna have the biggest in sports history, probably. It's like you're gonna make LeBron James's ring like gimmickier. Like you're gonna get the Michael Jordan stands that like, oh, he won in a 24 team playoff. That was weird. No one cared about it. They're in Disney World.
I mean, people are gonna find an excuse for the season no matter what.
Basically, all I'm trying to say is LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah, I mean that's all we're saying, but other than that, no. But like, I mean, yeah, people are gonna get upset if the Lakers do win. They're gonna say it's an asterisk. They're not gonna want to give them the credibility.
Or when the Miami Heat upset the whole league and they win it, everyone's gonna be like, dude, they're bums. It's an asterisk season. It doesn't matter.
Dude, they had a big break. Yeah, they don't.
And they could be saying that in 2021 when Giannis
or when
is on
the
the
Nets
Heat.
come back and Kyrie and Katie lead them to victory.
You know what? I'm speaking this into existence on the podcast with the mic in the face. Giannis Antetokounmpo. If he leaves Milwaukee, he will be on the Miami Heat, and if he's not, if he leaves Milwaukee and he goes somewhere else besides Miami, I'll shave my head like the Avatar. I'll get an Aang arrow.
Oh, I'd like to do that for you.
I'm obsessed with that right now, bro. I know you are too. I know you've already finished it.
I just finished it today, actually.
Man, I'm only like 6 episodes in. I just, watching Aang and Boomy like reconnect. It's such a good show.
There's a lot of moments that I kind of forgot about when I was watching like from the first time, and I gotta say they did good with that show. It still holds up.
Man.
Oh, like watching that last. Okay, just off topic again. We're all over the place.
Oh, it's such a good show.
I mean, two great things. Can't really hate on them, but
yeah, Aang is the greatest bender of all time. LeBron James is the greatest athlete and just human of all time. It's just like they go hand in hand.
It goes, yeah. It works out. Airbender. I mean, LeBron is the
airbender. LeBron can jump really high.
Goats can jump pretty high too. That's all I'm saying.
Aang throws fire. I bet LeBron could dunk a flaming basketball.
Dude, if he tried, guarantee he could.
Guaranteed. Not Space Jam, NBA Jam type stuff.
Yeah, the whole basket just catches on fire.
Oh my god! How did we get here?
Oh yeah, but going back to the whole end of the season thing, I mean, there's still one more option we kind of really haven't talked about, and that's, I guess, scrapping
the season and trying again in probably December, I would say. Like with a new 2021 season.
Yeah, because I know there's definitely a lot of professional soccer leagues, or a couple of them. I think the Mexican League just recently did, and I want to say the Norwegian.
I saw something about it.
One of those, it might have been Netherlands, something like that, but they scrapped their soccer season, so they officially declared no champion for the year.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's tough. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess if the NBA was to scrap it, they would definitely, there would be no champion, but I just pray if they do, that they still do the awards.
I can see the awards. Well, I mean, you played the majority of the season. I don't think many of them were.
I want Ja Morant with his Rookie of the Year trophy.
Yeah, that's so sad if he wouldn't get that after
the year he's had. He's like just carrying a freaking what should have been a terrible Grizzlies team into the playoffs in the West.
Or they somehow figure out a way to give Zion once he leads the Pelicans on a playoff run. Just kidding. Don't let me say that.
Don't speak that into existence. Let's not break the laws of basketball just because we got a really good player that's not in the playoffs. All right, LeBron wasn't in the playoffs last year. We didn't make it a 20-team playoff for him.
It was a weird playoff for me last year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Toronto Raptors won the whole thing. It was very weird.
Well, I meant as a LeBron fan.
I know, but no LeBron and the Toronto Raptors win it?
Yeah, I mean, after asterisk again, entire Warrior squad.
Hey. Hey,
But still, Fred Van Fleet.
Fred Van Fleet, in the birth of his son, he deserved that.
Should have been Finals MVP.
Honestly,
But
bro,
he-
no, but I respect the hustle.
I would have gave him 2 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. I think he got a couple votes thrown to him, if that counts or anything.
I would have thrown him a vote just for being Fred Van Fleet.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
If you don't know, Nick and I have a
Man crush on Fred Van Fleet. Say it
nice
how it
man
is.
crush,
Say it how
a
it
nice,
is.
nice respect for the man.
He's a freaking dog.
Yeah, he. Oh, dude, what he did to Steph Curry in that finals.
He's so good, dude. I thought he was gonna be an all-star this year at one point. Like he was averaging like 22 points, and
Nice in the beginning, yeah.
I mean, I still did pretty good this season. It was just like, obviously when you have Pascal Siakam on your team, you're gonna get a little outshined. And Kyle Lowry came back also, which did hurt Freddie's minutes.
Yeah, but if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm cutting all of Kyle Lowry's minutes and getting the Fred Van Fleet.
So next week, do you want to have a podcast where we only talk about Fred Van Fleet?
I will spend half an hour talking about that man.
Man, do you remember? I definitely sent you this video at some point over the last year when at his draft party and he didn't get drafted and he got up on like the stage in front of all of his family and friends. And he was like, "Don't worry, we're gonna figure this out." And then now, like, I don't know when did Fred Van Fleet come in the league? Give me 1 second. Van Fleet's draft. We didn't get drafted. He's 2016 class. So then what? Boom. 3 years later, he's a freaking NBA champion, and he contributed to winning that championship. Wow. Crazy, man.
You love seeing that. I love seeing that.
You love the underdog story. The undrafted guy. It's not like, oh, yeah, he was an undrafted guy, and he got the ring at the bottom of the bench. He was the sixth man in the heart. Oh, man. Much respect for Fred Van Fleet.
Much respect for the man, Fred Van Fleet.
Yes.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they decide to go about this season. Realistically, I think it's looking good enough for them to continue this season. I'd understand if they ended up scrapping it or just it doesn't work out, but I think right now the signs kind of point towards we're going to have a remainder of the season.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Man, I miss basketball.
It's just really the way they're going to do it. That's the only mystery at this point, I'd say.
Like, you don't know how badly I crave watching Bam Adebayo just lock down some plebeian, okay? Like, by plebeian, I mean Giannis, dude. I can't wait for Bam to just lock down Giannis in the second round and still probably lose, but can't wait. Basketball needs to come back, man.
I can't wait to see some Alex Caruso on my
on
my screen.
The receding assassin.
The bald Mamba.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Got a fish named after Alex Caruso.
I do. I got a beta fish at the start of
Wait,
quarantine.
whoa. Did you just call Alex Caruso a beta? He's a freaking alpha, dude.
A goatfish.
He's an alpha, man.
So he's just swimming around, doing Caruso thing.
Doing his fish tangs.
He's balding.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I think tonight is also a UFC event, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe it. It's Woodley versus Burns.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
It's a
oh, it already happened.
Yeah, I think it did happen. I think Gilbert Burns won, right? It was a welterweight. I don't know, man. I need to pay more attention.
Main event, yeah.
It was okay.
This was I guess it is almost midnight. I thought it was an early event.
Yeah, no.
Man. I was say I thought I saw stuff on Twitter saying it was a boring main event. So well, there you go. So sorry if you guys watched that.
Yeah, I saw one of our buddies who's big into the UFC was tweeting about how lame it was. But dude, did you see Conor McGregor might be fighting again? Like another fighter called him out on Twitter. Hold up, I sent it to our buddy Ethan so I can go look at that tweet right now. Anderson Silva
Oh, Anderson Silva, dude. That's
Yeah, Anderson Silva calls out Conor McGregor for a super fight at a 176-pound catch weight, and Conor quote tweeted and said, "I accept."
I'll say Anderson Silva's the guy who broke his leg
Hmm.
a couple years back during the fight. Yeah, okay. I mean, I like Conor McGregor. I really
If
respect him.
you say anything bad about the goat, Jacob, the don't talk to I'm the Conor McGregor stan. Don't do this. Bury yourself in a hole.
Dude, no, I love Conor
Oh,
McGregor.
okay, cool. Yeah, he's freaking awesome, bro. When he knocked out Cowboy with his freaking shoulder.
Dude, I watched it. That was his first fight back, I want to say.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and he just literally just put. And he went into this guy's weight class and put him in the freaking grave.
Put him in a body bag.
He did. He with his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have recently got into UFC. I think I said that before, like last year. Last
Yeah,
year.
our buddy Ethan and our buddy Noah got us hardcore into it.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I've watched Conor McGregor a little bit. I mean, I've probably watched him lose more than I have win recently, just because he's been doing those big fights. I mean, he lost against Floyd Mayweather in boxing,
Oh well, yeah, but like that was
Which-
expected.
which you could definitely see happen. But he did way better than I thought he was going to do. He did work, and then against Khabib next, where he unfortunately lost, and then got suspended afterwards. But you know.
Bro, you remember when we were at B-Dubs and we got to watch, not even knowing it, we got to watch the fastest
Sure.
knockout in UFC history
That was Ben Askren getting
When-
knocked out.
by Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah, with an M.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but that flying knee was crazy.
it was Jose Masvidal. Yeah, Jorge Masvidal.
Jorge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
mean, yeah, that was definitely didn't expect that. It was
And
just,
and the
you know,
crazy
5 second
thing.
knockout.
The crazy thing, after the fight, his trainer leaked videos of him practicing that move because everyone was like, "Yeah, he just did something stupid and got lucky." No, that was his plan to open up that fight with that move.
Oh, I'm pretty sure his next, if I'm not mistaken, his next fight against I want to say Nate Diaz. I think he was fighting. He ran at him just like that, and Nate Diaz like ran away, but he was just pretending to do it again.
That's troll. I
It was
like
funny
that.
to see, yeah.
That's so troll.
So he was great for that time, but yeah. So love talking UFC too. So if you guys are interested, might have to get our friend Ethan
I'd be down.
on the podcast. Probably after the next kind of bigger UFC event. 'Cause I think
Yeah.
that's pretty low key.
Yeah, I mean, let's. I mean, well, right here, future UFC events. Let's see if there's anything crazy happening. UFC 250. Main event is
Nunes.
Amanda Nunes, dude. Nunes is crazy.
She's nice with it.
Oh, so yeah, and then
You can watch that. Oh, Cody Garbrandt and Rafael. Okay. So those are some good fights.
that was just.
I like that.
I just want McGregor to fight again, or
I
like
know.
Khabib, or I just want John Jones. Oh my god, I love John Jones. I want to see John Jones back in the freaking octagon. Just
I saw him and Francis Ngannou talking smack to each other on Twitter, and that would be
oh my god.
the fight for me because I might be a bigger Francis Ngannou fan than I am.
How about Mike Tyson
How about Mike Tyson getting in shape, looking like he's gonna come out in
coming out and fight for chair? Like he's gonna do. Hopefully, people around his age. I mean,
I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to fight like a veteran fighter.
yeah, and like as a charity event, which is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, good to see. Good to see. And then, yeah. So, I really can't think of anything else going on in the world of sports at the moment.
I got one more thing.
One more. Let me hear
The
it.
match 2, Phil Nicholson, Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. That stuff was comedic, dude.
Oh, Peyton Manning with the one-liners the whole
Oh,
time.
dude, did you watch any of it, or did you just catch highlights?
I watched. I want to say from the
I-
14 one, something like that.
Yeah, me too. My favorite thing was once it got late in the game, you could tell Tiger did not. Tiger's like, yeah, this is like a charity event, whatever. But Tiger, you could tell Tiger locked in. He was like not talking, wasn't doing anything. Tiger's like, I'm not losing this. I think my favorite thing was, have you ever seen Tiger Woods in shorts, dude?
Hey, all I know is it was a red shirt.
Yeah, he did have the red shirt on.
He had the red shirt. That's
I
all
love
was
I
looking
love
for.
Tiger Bear when he won that Masters this year. That was
I was so happy for him.
oh
He needed it. He deserved it.
Tiger's the goat, man.
He's still the best golfer.
Oh yes, man. Controversial stuff happened, but dude, Tiger's one of my favorite athletes of all
I
time.
mean, yeah, he definitely fell off for a second there.
He
but then
made people
definitely
want to
got back.
watch golf, bro. Professional golf is not that fun to watch. Sorry, I
Yeah.
said it. But Tiger, I'll watch Tiger get hyped. Like when Tiger gets a birdie putt, or oh, crazy.
You love seeing the fist bump,
Oh,
or
yes.
not the fist bump, the
The,
I
who,
guess
who
fist
ro-
raise, something like that. You know?
the Tiger Woods got happy emote.
Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, it was a great match. Peyton Manning was my favorite player.
Oh, yeah, I know. I bet you got a kick
Played-
out of his one-liners. Peyton Man's hilarious,
So it's
though.
better for me to watch.
Like,
I mean,
all of his commercials, his Allstate commercials, or State Farm, whatever he does with Thomas Rhett, those are
yeah,
all
those are good.
hilarious.
Those are really good. And then he does
His little cooking
he
thing.
does Papa John's for a little bit.
Yeah, he was, and then he's got, like, that cooking thing he does, or doesn't he have, like...
Yep, and then he has he has his own show. It's something with Peyton. Places with Peyton? Peyton's Places, something like that.
That's so goofy, man.
Yeah, it's Peyton's Places. It's a little TV thing he does.
That's so goofy.
That's funny. Cool. So, yeah. So I mean, great events kind of starting to come back up, and
Mhm.
like we said, just kind of waiting to see how the NBA returns, what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, and I think we said this in our last talk about NBA pod, but whenever they do announce it, and let's say tomorrow, Adam Silver releases a what's the word I'm looking, like an article or a description, like a hey, this is our plans, this is what we're gonna try to do, something that we can break down in depth, like more, not rumors, like a statement. There we go. A statement, like from Adam Silver in the league office, saying this is what we're gonna do. We will, as quick as we can, we'll break that down amongst ourselves and figure out, process it all, and then we'll hop on a pod and we'll have a non-Sunday pod out, because basketball
Yeah.
coming back, biggest thing for us right now.
That's definitely an emergency right now. So yeah, that would definitely be an instant get up and post and get that all figured out.
So with that being said, Jacob, I think it's time to hit him with the signature outro.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We had a lot of good stuff to talk about, a lot of big news, and as always, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Boy!